Welcome to Elevator Pitch, brought to you by 9 Spokes. My name is Jay Shetty and I'm your host. This week, I'm speaking to Payal Shah. She's a young entrepreneur in the jewelry and fashion industry. She's a social media influencer and has some great advice for young entrepreneurs across the world. How did you know that it was the jewelry and fashion industry that was your calling, that you connected with? So many people we know get lost trying to figure out what their space is, what their lane is. How were you sure that that's where you wanted to start?
Honestly, you're never sure, and you still aren't. I still reconsider what my life could have been. But it's the hard work that really counts towards whatever you do. And of course, luck plays a huge part. I was always passionate about the culture and the fashion and the architecture that I was brought up around. So I knew that that was going to be something I was going to pursue as I got older.
Tell us what you thought the entrepreneur journey was going to be like versus what it actually is from your experience so far.
You know, in my mind, I always thought the entrepreneurship journey would have a start, a middle, and end, and then you would end and you'd be successful. But that really isn't it. It's an ongoing journey. You keep evolving. My first business has led me to invest into other areas of the business, and now I am involved in more than I ever was. So it kind of just keeps growing, and you don't really expect that until it really happens to you.
The show's called Elevator Pitch. Tell us what yours is right now in the 45 seconds that you have.
The strongest asset you have that nobody can take away from you is good energy. You use your good energy wisely, use it positively, and you use it to really make yourself a stronger, a more admirable human being. I love to discover, to encourage through people, culture, food, religion, and really understand why things are the way they are and what can we do to make things better, what can we do to evolve, and what can we do to use our energy to positively reinforce that into the world. I love the fact that we can be connected to so many kind of different people today, and with the right kind of energy you can really attract some great minded people around you.
Tell us about some of the biggest challenges, struggles that you faced running a business internationally in different industries, working with loads of people, all of different ages, generations, and backgrounds.
You really need to know your research. You need to know what a range of people like from a certain area. You need to know what ages attract what kind of color and flavor. And that means that you always have to be on top of it. You always need to know your news. You need to know what's happening politically. You need to know what's happening pop culture. You need to know and that really makes me someone that is quite switched on with current events, because you need to have the ability to have a conversation anywhere, everywhere, with whoever. And that only happens when you're kind of a world-rounded person.
And now tell us about some of the highlights, the exciting things about being an up-and-coming entrepreneur, getting recognized, growing, and leading your own schedule.
Well, you named some of them: being recognized for your work, but for me, when I see happy clients, there's nothing like it. When you see the smile on their faces and when you get compliments saying that your work is truly making someone really, really feel special today, that is the cherry on the top. And of course, all the credentials that come with it and all the positive energy that comes with it and all the new avenues that's opened for me. That's honestly what's been so great about this entire journey.
How important have mentors been in your journey? Who have you learned from? What have they taught you?
Mentors are extremely important. They honestly are great for guideline, great to, go through ideas with, which I do a lot. My most prominent mentor is my mother. She is incredible. I do not make any major steps in my life without consulting with her, and just because I know she knows her stuff. And when it comes to health, I have someone someone specific. When it comes to beauty, I have someone specific. When it comes to education, I have someone specific. So honestly, I have different mentors in different parts of my life.
And what's some of the bad advice that you've received that you really had to switch off from and turn down the noise?
I wouldn't say this is bad advice, but it's something that, I eventually now discover that it's kind of wrong. Um, when someone told me to think like a man and act like a lady, and I thought to myself, wow, that means that if I want to be successful, I need to be a man. And that's not true because there's so many incredible successful women out there. And I want to think like them. I want to be like them, not like a man.
In this section, I want to focus on your advice for young people out there who want to be an entrepreneur. What's the starting point? What's day one look like?
First things first, what are you trying to solve? What product are you trying to create? And do we really need it? Because there's just so much out there right now. And is it just to fill a void for a few hundred people? No. You think big, you think large, you think, is it going to make our world a better place? Is it going to be something that adds value to what we have today? Also, that means that if you have an idea and if you think there's someone out there that has a similar idea, why don't you get in contact, collaborate, see if you can come together and build something bigger? That's something I've been doing recently.
What's your advice for people thinking about becoming investors, looking to partner up with other brands, looking to work on branded and sponsored content you do? So think about that. What would be your advice to people wanting to venture into that area?
I think it's incredible. I think it's great to invest into other people's ideas because there is a success rate that is proven with cross collaboration. Two minds can always sometimes be better than one, and especially in a world where we have to find a way to kind of reach everything and everyone in a short span of time. It's nice when you have two different people or a few different people handling different parts of the spectrum. So I do think it's very advisable, and I personally love doing it.
You're obviously an avid social media user. What's your best advice for people wanting to grow their brand on social media, the platforms they should be on, and how they should use it?
I think social media should be taken as serious as your brand requires it to be. Um, you do need to have a bit of fun with it because I think people can really now see through the filters and the kind of impact we try to build by kind of really saturating our photos. But that really isn't what we're trying to do. We're trying to send out a message. We're trying to illustrate a journey. And that's what I think really connects you to someone when you're trying to showcase the behind the scenes, the behind the scenes drama. I think that's quite fun to watch.
And give us some advice on resilience. How do you keep going? How do you stay motivated? What's your secret life hack?
I don't think it's a secret, but most successful entrepreneurs will say this to you. Love yourself, treat yourself well, treat yourself to good fitness, to good food, to good culture, a balanced life, because the stronger you are in here and in here, the stronger your work is, the more energy you are able to provide it. So really, really take care of yourself, love yourself, so that you can love what you do.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Elevator Pitch, brought to you by 9 Spokes. It was great hearing the ideas and insights of a young entrepreneur. Every week we're featuring different business people who have so many different ideas and pieces of wisdom and knowledge to share with us about the future of work. I hope you'll join me again next week.